with Monday.com, how did you land on that one? What other ones did you try?
Yeah. So Monday.com, it probably took me, I think 6 to 8 months to make a decision on it. So I looked at ClickUp, I looked at Notion, um, I looked at different project management softwares altogether just to see if there was one that could like
Yeah,
bridge the gap. And
sure.
none of them, hit the mark in every spot that I needed.
Okay. And so you decided on, and did Monday hit every single mark, or did you sacrifice a little bit?
If I remember correctly, we sacrificed a little bit, but we figured out workarounds within Monday to be
Yeah.
able to, you know, bridge those gaps anyways.
I think this is a really key point that I want to make to people. You went with Monday.com, which I would say traditionally is not a construction company's go-to software. Usually used by more in-office jobs that are, on the computer all day, every day. And I think there's a lot of value in doing that, because if you go to these niche construction softwares, typically what you'll find is that the quality is just not very good in terms of user experience and design.
Mhm.
And then the support level is not great. Um, and whenever you go to something like money.com, although it does require a certain level of creativity and thought and, tweaking and trying things out, you can get a lot done and you can make something that is custom to you. Is that what you found?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, Monday, most
Yeah.
of the softwares are like a blank canvas. The reality is if you buy
Yeah,
project management software, it's also a blank canvas, but it's a limited blank canvas, So you can only
exactly.
build out the tools that
Exactly.
they have available for you. And Monday is like open source compared to Builder Trends. So we were able to implement with outside things if we needed to, or
Right.
push web links to it and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I think with the choice to go to Monday for the CRM, that's one that surprised me. Because typically what we'll help people do is we actually separate CRM out, and we'll use with there. I'm really surprised, like you said, there is not a great CRM solution with great reporting and lead tracking and all the different things, especially on the marketing side for
Yeah.
construction. It's just they're really
Yeah.
subpar. Uh, but we use HubSpot for
Yeah.
that for contractors, and we get it all the way to the point where it's, okay, we signed a contract. Okay, go into Builder Trend, go into Job Nimbus, Jobber, whatever it is that you're
Yeah.
doing, for the project management side. And you can actually, if you're doing some project management, you could probably do it in HubSpot, and we've helped people do that. But I do recommend doing what you're doing with Builder Trend at that level. So uh, I love that you do have your CRM in the same place as all your departments inside of money.com. I think there's a huge value in having those integrated because of the ability, because you're doing all of your workplace communication inside of there as well, right?
Exactly.
So we're chatting about projects, we're chatting about like
Mhm.
leads. It's all in that one place,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Everything's in one place.
Yeah.
I've got a question for clarification.
Yeah.
Monday.com, can you kind of think of it? It just gives you your workspaces are a bunch of whiteboards, maybe,
Yeah.
and and your CRMs. I mean, you're putting your workflows in there, your steps, your
Yeah.
stages, reporting requirements. You
Yeah.
build it out, and there that sits over here in one part of Monday. Then you put your HR manual and your HR procedures in another. My mind says
Yeah.
whiteboard workspace,
Dashboard's
but you
probably a better
build.
term than whiteboard,
Yeah.
but
Well, there's actually some software one of my guys uses called Whiteboard. It's great. But that's where my mind
Yeah.
goes. But okay, just kind of understanding it's a place where you can create any sort or many sorts of processes and
Exactly.
workflows.
Yeah. So we even have it to the level of we were running EOS in a different software. And my goal has always been I want the least amount of softwares as possible with the most amount of transparency possible. And so we even worked on we found someone selling like an EOS template from Monday.com. And so I bought it, and then we took it like 5 steps further. So my staff even run their production meetings out of there. And I could look back at like 8 meetings ago and say, what did we cover this day? What were the issues we solved? What are the to-dos that came from it? And, what was the metrics that were reported on that day? So
yeah.
it's really
No, I
all
think I
encompassing.
think that's huge. And I think the template aspect that you don't get that with some of the construction softwares, you know, and so being able to have a marketplace where you can find that specific template for that specific use case, and then even be able to tweak it from there. Do you find that, I know you mentioned you were looking into Notion a little bit, and my big rub with Notion was I actually use Notion personally. Like in my personal life, I have like grocery lists in there, I journal in there, take notes on different things, put books in there, stuff like that. But I feel like it's almost too much of a blank canvas. Like there's too little structure, where it's like you actually have to build the architecture of the structure, versus like I use ClickUp personally for work, but it's very similar to Monday in a lot of respects. There's some structure there that you can work within, and then, you know, you get to tweak and build how you want.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what I was looking for, because I'm no, you know, software genius by any means. And so if I can't figure it out, there's no way my staff are going to figure it out. And I felt the same. Like Notion, I think if I remember correctly, I did a trial of it, and like you open it, it's literally just blank, and you're like, oh,
it's literally blank.
What do I do from here?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. But it's just as powerful as Monday and ClickUp.
Yeah, it really is. And ClickUp, Asana, I think it's called Asana, and Monday, they're all relatively the same. They just have different features, price points, and packages. I also needed something that I could dip pretty into the weeds on, like user permissions and things like that for. So I think that's ultimately what led us to Monday.